Thank you very much for the opportunity to be with you. Jeff, back to our days in law school, I knew that you were exactly the sort of fierce advocate for the principles of the Constitution who might someday lead an incredible institution such as this. So thank you for everything that you and the board under Doug DeVos's leadership have done to help bring the Constitution to life, to help be a vital center of civic education, and to help bring together the American people in once again reaffirming the core principles that were at the very founding of our nation. As you said at the outset, this is in many ways a sacred space. If our Constitution is our civil scripture, we should today take some moment of inspiration by the reflection on the founding of our Constitution here and the fight that continues for freedom around the world. As I mentioned in talking with President Zelenskyy, I myself have been inspired by previous Liberty Medal presentations here to John Lewis and to John McCain and to many others. And I want to begin by thanking Liz O'Baggy, who works with me and who previously worked with John McCain, who was physically carrying the Liberty Medal to make sure that a senator did not misplace it on our long trip into Kyiv. I want to thank the leaders of the Ukrainian American diaspora from my home state of Delaware and from Philadelphia who are here and who are helping to inspire and to lead an incredible community that bridges our two great nations. The opening singing of the Ukrainian national anthem and our national anthem is a reminder of how deeply intertwined are our communities. Thank you for what you do and for your witness and service. On our trip to Ukraine, we first stopped in Rzeszów in Poland and had the opportunity to witness how literally dozens of countries from around the world are coordinating the delivery of both humanitarian and military aid into Ukraine. To sit at the table with the leaders of the 101st Division of the United States Airborne and to see leaders from all over Europe from across NATO coordinating plane after plane, bringing desperately needed relief and critically needed army material and weapons supplies into Ukraine was inspiring. We also had a chance to visit with Ukrainian refugee families, who UNHCR is providing a place of safety and refuge in Poland, before we began a more than 10-hour train trip across Ukraine, interrupted only by my desperate attempts to get updates on the Phillies game in the World Series. When we got into Ukraine, we had the opportunity to meet with our incredible ambassador, Bridget Brink, and the determined staff of the American Embassy in Kyiv, most of whose employees are Ukrainians, many of whom have deployed to fight in the war, many others who have returned from other places to take up their post to be part of America's mission to Ukraine. We had the opportunity to visit a church where USAID and the World Food Program and a local Ukrainian nonprofit, ADRA, are providing food to thousands of families. We also visited the headquarters of the Ukrainian utility, recently struck by Iranian-provided drones and Russian missiles. Putin, having failed on the battlefield in the face of the brave advances of Ukrainian troops, is now trying to attack the civilian infrastructure of Ukraine and plunge the tens of millions of Ukrainians who remain into a cold and dark winter. We cannot let him succeed. We also met with the Ukrainian general prosecutor and talked about the urgency of documenting the war crimes being committed, the atrocities being committed every day by Russian troops against Ukrainian civilians. And Senator Portman and I went from Ukraine to go to the International Criminal Court at The Hague, where we engaged in a conversation about how we might ensure accountability after Ukraine is fully free. Of course, the highlight of our trip was the visit to President Zelenskyy and the honor of presenting him on your behalf with the Liberty Medal. Navigating through many different torturous paths, past tank traps and barbed wire, sandbags and armed men into President Zelenskyy's presence is a reminder that of all the people Vladimir Putin most wants to kill, President Zelenskyy and his family are at the very top of that list. No one is more worthy of this Liberty Medal and what it represents than President Zelenskyy. He wanted me to convey to you that this award he received not just for him, but for all the Ukrainian people who are committed to the fight for freedom and for democracy. And when Ukraine achieves victory, it will be in no small part to his personal resolve. As you saw just a few moments ago, a video that he broadcast from the streets of Kyiv after the Russian invasion began galvanized his people by showing he would not flee in the face of danger. And I will never forget hearing that when offered exfiltration, a military removal from Kyiv for his own safety by the United States, his response was, "The fight is here. I need ammunition, not a ride." President Zelenskyy represents the very best of the Ukrainian spirit, a determination, strength, and resolve in the face of aggression, and we must stand in solidarity with the people of Ukraine and support their fight. Everyone who believes in liberty must see that this is not just their fight, it is our fight. Today, Ukraine is the front line of freedom globally. Not all of us are called to be wartime leaders. Not all of us are called to serve and sacrifice, but all of us who are Americans must hear this call. And Senator Portman and I are determined in the coming months and in the coming Congress to do everything we possibly can to stand in solidarity with the people of Ukraine and to support the fight and the struggle for freedom on its front line. Thank you, and God bless you.